Good morning. Welcome to the Comcast Social Media Lounge. Really glad to have everyone here. I'm Cindy Parsons from Comcast. I am so excited to have one of my favorite friends from the Denver area, Mayor Michael B. Hancock, with us today.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Mayor. What's been going on down at South by so far?
Man, we've been busy down here in South by Southwest here in Austin, Texas. It's wonderful always to come down here. But I've been doing the mayor's track, and of course a lot of mayors we did kind of a Shark Tank where we had some pitches. We got to award some money to some startup entrepreneurs, and you know, we've done a couple panels on innovation and technology, a couple speeches here and there. So a lot's going on down here in Austin, Texas.
That's great. That's great. Talk to us a little bit about what's going on in Denver. There's a lot of startup activity, entrepreneurial activity. You're involved in a couple of really cool, innovative projects in Denver. I think this crowd would love to hear more about that.
Well, Denver is one of the fastest growing cities in the country right now. And along with Austin, we keep playing back and forth. Last year, we were the best place to live and to work. This year, it's Austin, and we're #2, and they were our #2 last year. But it's really being driven by this entrepreneurial spirit. We've had 3,700 new companies in the last 5 years come to Denver, Colorado. A lot of them are startups and small businesses driven by this, you know, the millennials who are moving into Denver, as well as, quite frankly, baby boomers that have made Denver their #3 destination in the country, and they start their second careers. And a lot of what they're doing are starting up companies. And so we've been excited. And so we've had these shared spaces that have opened up, you know, Galvanize, Industry, Commons on Champa, where small businesses or entrepreneur startups, quite frankly, share space, create their unique space of their own, but more importantly, share resources and create a community of creativity, innovation, and startups. It's pretty exciting stuff.
It's really great. The Commons on Champa obviously has been a really marquee place in Denver to really bring students and nonprofits and entrepreneurs and city officials, everyone together to really innovate for good and otherwise in that space. What do you think makes it so unique? Why is Denver such a collaborative environment, and what can other cities learn from that?
Well, I think, one, it doesn't happen overnight. It kind of grows organically in terms of this ecosystem that nurtures entrepreneurs, really gives them the license to be creative and innovative and to take risks. And when you're in that space, some of these spaces are no bigger than this room right here. Entrepreneurs share kind of the common areas of where they get their snacks, their coffees, and conference rooms and a lot of the technology. It really kind of gives that sense of camaraderie and collaboration and creativity. So the 3 C's are right there and really, really, really vibrant and very present. So, you know, it has really helped some companies thrive, and it's been fun to watch them. Some of the companies we've looked at, you know, they have marketing contracts with Spider or Red Bull or, you know, Icelandic skis we've been able to take with us when we open up the new flight to Iceland. We've been able to nurture some of these businesses and help them ride our wave as a city to being one of the best places for entrepreneurialism, and that's pretty exciting stuff.
Denver is experiencing a lot of growth, as you mentioned. What are some of the challenges that come along with that? And what could technology or others do to sort of help address some of the growth opportunities we have?
Well, you know, obviously some of the real challenges are, you know, you have challenges with mobility because your street grid is your street grid, and you have more cars and more people trying to move about your city because of the growth. We're growing at a 1,000-person clip per month in Denver, Colorado. So that's amazing. So you can imagine the pressure on our housing market. You know, we've seen our prices and rentals and for purchase go through the roof. We're one of the top markets in the country right now as a result. But, you know, the reality is that how technology does that, you know, we're going to use a lot of the technology, deploy innovative technology, remedies around transportation and mobility, how we give people our Go app in partnership with Xerox on how people can get from point A to point B, the fastest, most affordable, efficient way to do that. Where congestion might they might run into congestion. So we're trying to do things to move people about the city in a more efficient manner. Our partnership with Panasonic is pretty exciting, and we're going to see that begin to really, you know, Panasonic Enterprise Solutions, we're going to see that starting to impact some of our mobility transportation modes in a very short order because we're partnering with them to help come up with some creative solutions.
That's fantastic. That's a great development. There's also a lot going on around the airport. You've been a big advocate and driver of the Aerotropolis Tell us a little more about that. What does that mean? How's
Yeah.
that going to integrate with everything we have going on from an innovative perspective?
Well, Aerotropolis is a Greek word which basically means a community around an airport or an aviation center. And the reality is that Denver has the 5th busiest airport in the world, in the country, one of the top 20 busiest airports in the world. You frequent a lot, I frequent a lot. Everyone should frequent the IA, or better known as DEN on the reservation chart. The reality is that we have a footprint that only one place in the world matches or is bigger than Denver in terms of the land inside and outside of the airport. And we need to maximize that to help us create new nodes of technology, agriculture, innovation, and drive the growth and opportunities in and around the airport. There are enterprises that need to be near the airport because they need to move people and products very quickly, efficiently, and affordably. And we're trying to leverage that. And guess what? Panasonic said that's where we want to be when they came into Denver. We have other companies, Gaylord is out there. So we got other companies that are coming out there to help thrive it, and the Aerotropolis is under construction today.
That's fantastic. So we talked a lot about the growth of Denver, innovation, technology, what's happening in that part of the country. What's the secret sauce in Colorado? What makes it all work?
I think the people, to be honest with you. People are entrepreneurial, they're innovative, they're creative, they're outdoorsy, very friendly, hospitable, inclusive, open. I think when people come to Denver, they find it's a very easy place to be. And it's comfortable and people are kind. We're not without our challenges, but we are a growing city, one that tries to value every human being for who they are and not for what they are. And I think we find that a conducive place to raise our families and to live. And so the quality of life is really next to none and very attractive to a lot of people, regardless of where you are on the age spectrum. We like to say this is a city that's ready for anyone who's 8 to 80. And you do that, you pretty much got a place for everybody.
That's fantastic. Just going back a little bit on some of the technologies that might be interesting to how Denver considers itself a smart city. What do you think is the number one thing we should focus on? I attended a panel earlier this week where they're talking a lot about public safety and the importance of that technology and serving the safety issues of the city. What's your perspective on that?
Well, I think safety and growth of a city and the quality of life we all enjoy really comes after we handle the foundational part. And so when we talk about being a smart city, we must go to the very base of being a smart city first, and that is educate our children well and to make sure they have good access and opportunity within the STEM areas, because ultimately they're going to carry these innovations forward. No matter what we create today, there are inventions and creations out there that we couldn't even imagine. 10 years ago, we didn't even know about the smartphone. Well, maybe 12 years ago. We know about the smartphone now, but we can remember living without the smartphone. We can remember living without the internet. Those creations are coming, so we need to make sure that our future workforce and those who are going to be caring for us, Cindy, quite frankly, are prepared. No, you and I, but someday we will be. Neither one of us are right now, but they need to be prepared to take care of us, right? And so we got to make sure they're educated first. To me, I think that's very foundational. And I think the innovation and the technology and all the other things will come as a result of that.
Yeah, education is really fundamental to how new products, services, innovation continues to evolve. We just did the partnership with CU Denver, Comcast did. Yes. Really looking at how do we ensure that the universities are thinking about how they educate for the workforce of tomorrow. And I know you've done a lot in workforce development and helping our city in that way. And I think all of these sort of innovation epicenters across Denver share in that progress.
Well, they all say that 80% or by 2020, 2025, 80% of all jobs will require some form of degree. I think the reality is that we need to make sure that every person has skills that allow them to be marketable in a 21st century economy. And that calls for being prepared to take on different technology, to be innovative, be creative, be entrepreneurial. You can take a young person who does not necessarily want to go to college, and it's absurd to think that every student or every child in school wants to or can go to college. It's not going to happen. So how do we equip them for a career? Yeah. Not just a job, but a career. And we need to make sure they have access to those training opportunities to do just that. There's a place for them in this economy.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. What are you most proud about in Denver?
Comcast is in Denver.
Yay.
No, you didn't. You told me to say that.
I did not say that.
No. I'm proud of the growth. I'm proud of the opportunities that exist in Denver. I'm proud of the sense of energy and optimism that's in Denver. I'm proud people want to be in Denver. I'm proud we're still one of the safest big cities in the country, one of the top 10 safest big cities in the country. Our unemployment rate is 3.6%. On all levels that you look at when you say, what does a city with a great quality of life look like? Denver is hitting those metrics very well.
Right.
And we need to maintain that. And so we need to keep building in the system of creativity, entrepreneurialism, safety, good education system, good entertainment. You come to Denver, whether you're a visitor or you're going to live there, you're going to find a place that's welcome and inclusive and all the things that's there because people are feeling good about the city.
That's right. Highly productive workforce. You mentioned visitors. We've got we're growing cities, so that means we're expanding our convention center and we're competing with the coasts, if you will, in terms of attracting those larger conventions like South by. Tell us a little bit about how that's going, how important that is to the city, and ensuring that we've got the future growth.
Well, the people of Denver last year approved a $100 million expansion of the convention center. Our plans are a little bigger and grander than we initially thought and more costly because so much is happening in Denver. So we're going to have to put a little more extra into it to do right by our convention and keep it competitive. We're one of the top convention destinations in the country. Our weather's great in spring and summer. It's even great in the wintertime. It's very mild and moderate and temperate, and so convention goers want to be in Denver. It's walkable once you get downtown, and so we want to continue to keep that momentum going. It has really helped drive our economy and keep our downtown vibrant, and so we're going to make the proper investments to keep our convention center competitive and continue to welcome conventioneers from all over the world. And I think that's something that we have in our crawl that a lot of other cities don't have.
Yeah, agreed. It's a vibrant community and growing, much like Austin. So
absolutely.
Love that you were able to join us today. Is there anything else you want to share with us that we should know about?
Well, no. Come on to Denver. We'd love to see you, whether you're a conventioneer visitor or you're looking to relocate. We invite you. Just know it's a great metropolitan region and one that I think people will find a home, and that's what's important. Find a home.
Thank you, Mayor. It's always great to see you.
Thank you so much.